What's up, superstars? Back with another video. You got Superstar Rob, and you got Superstar Essentially Crypto. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Oh,
Hey.
wow! He came prepared. He knew.
He wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't. I got a whooping. I got a whooping there. We got a boxer here. Showed me up big time. But guys, make sure if you haven't already, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button. Join the Superstar fam and hit the bell notification button because you never know what we're gonna hit you with. Who knows? Maybe we're talking about the Veve team. Maybe you're gonna see the Veve team again. So you want to make sure you hit the bell button because you don't know when they're gonna show up. All as well, Superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Bring as much utility as possible to the VIP membership. Ultraman drop today. We use the spreadsheet to help decide whether it's worth going for or not. I put in my price predictions. You could put in your price predictions. You get these cool stars beside your name, plus more. Thank you to all our VIPs. We appreciate you and your support as well. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Please message us. We love having a conversation on DMs, so always feel free to reach out. So, Essentially Crypto. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Here's your channel. What do you do?
It's quite funny that shorts comes up. First of all, that was just me messing around. Basically, that's me telling you how to fold a crisp packet so the crisps don't come out. So it's absolutely nothing to do with Veve or crypto.
Yeah. That's funny. That's hilarious. Close the bag. Close the bag.
Exactly.
Close the Veve bag.
Yeah, I'm wearing the Veve shirt, funny enough. But yeah, I was out for the day with my son and my wife, and I was playing around with the chips trying to get them to close, and I was like, this is really annoying. It's not working. And then I come up with an origami method to do it, and I thought, people need to know this. People need to know this trick. So I put it out as a little short just for really messing around. But it's just funny that it comes up on the channel. I guess I started out I bought a few cryptos. I like the idea of doing a sort of a YouTube channel, but I didn't really know what to do it on. And I bought a few cryptos myself, was looking around, and then I bought Omi, and I noticed that nobody was really doing anything to do with Omi. I'm kind of one of the original YouTubers, I guess, from back in the day. Back then, it was quite easy to get people to subscribe and watch the show because of the fact that there was nobody else doing it. Now there's loads of people doing stuff to do with Omi, which is absolutely brilliant. Obviously, not so. And are struggling to get people to watch, but it's also for everyone else, obviously. And I don't know if you noticed as well. I don't know whether you've noticed the progression of Veve and the progression of Omi, but when we all first started back in the day as well, we were just kind of like talking about that one drop per week, and we didn't really have to know much because there was no one else doing it, as I said. So it was kind of, we knew a few bits. We could say a few speculations that were coming, but now, like with your guys' channel, you've got like a whole spreadsheet thing going on, where you dissect the drops and all that kind of thing, and it's just got crazy now what people actually bring to the table.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable now what actually comes out on the videos.
Well, there's a Ecomi wiki, right? I don't know if you've used it recently.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, Omi the Clown. Yeah, he's been he was always, when I was doing the streams back in the day, because I used to do live streams as well for the drops. And then it got like the drops every day, and my wife was just like, "You can't do this anymore. Stop."
It can break the bank, that's for sure. It can break the bank.
Definitely.
And now you're talking about the advancement. The community is just so skilled. Their capabilities is just on another level.
Oh, it's crazy.
Candlesticks now. He has like triggers, like he has all sorts of things set up, and it's only going to continue to build. And I did a video yesterday about metadata, right? The progression of Veve and the metadata that's going to be coming. That's going to just bring the tools that people can use to help make decisions to another level. Right?
It makes it more complicated though. It's like before, it was like, do you want to buy something because you like it, or do you want to buy it because the metadata says that it's going to go up? But you know what I mean? It's just like before, it was just like, oh, I like that silver horse, I'll buy it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah. And the thing is, if you the moment you introduce a marketplace, I don't know, were you here before marketplace, or were you here?
I was here when it first was shut down. So I got the what was it I bought? I bought like a Tokidoki horse or something, the Metello. I bought one of those, and then I was kind of in and out of the app. I wasn't really interested in Veve, to be honest, as an app. I saw the Batmans, I saw the Rizzos, they were all in the shop. And when it's like when people get in now and they say, oh, this didn't sell out. So what people are doing is they're getting in now. I don't know how many people are getting in now, but when I first got in, all the Rizzos, everything was all for sale.
Yeah.
In fact, I think for about a month or two, while people were doing the YouTubes and stuff, all of the Todds were still for sale, and I could have got one at any time.
Yeah,
incredible. But I stupidly did not buy one at all, and obviously I regret that.
Yeah.
But Rizzo especially, I remember seeing people going, "Oh yeah, I've picked up a sweet Batman for 89 quid," and I was like, 89 quid for a freaking.
it's incredible, and hindsight is obviously 2020 vision, right? Like it's so easy to look back, and we're living in a period of time of a bear market where it's hard to invest in that situation. But and it's the idea of the moment you bring in a marketplace, you're going to have people trying to profit. You're going to have a different group of people, and not just people just buying something that they like. And that's where we are right now. So I think I don't know if you heard it, there was that recent AMA that just came out. Now they're talking about burning collectibles that are not sold out.
Maybe I see that. Yeah, well, they kind of sort of talked about that for years, really. In fact, when they first started talking about, like, when I first started doing the channel, I think I did a video way back on it, and it literally, they said anything that's not sold out is after a couple of weeks is going to be burnt, and then it kind of got forgotten for a long time, and then all of a sudden they've just sort of brought it back again, and I think one of the reasons for that is probably because of the fact they didn't need it, because everything was selling out constantly.
Right.
They didn't need the burn mechanism. The only one they did it on, from what I remember, is the Captain America.
That's right. Which I think there's 22,000 now. I don't know. I don't know the metadata will tell us exactly how many there actually are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Like they were talking about, why aren't you putting OMI on more exchanges? And Reese kind of answered, well, right now is not the good time to do it. So why are we going to try? Right. It's consistent kind of thought as with what you're saying right now. What you just mentioned. So it's not a good time to burn because we're selling out. Now that we're not selling out anymore, we can bring in the burns. And this is the strategy of the Veve team, which we're going to talk about a little bit more. But already you can see the progression of Veve and how far they've come. You were in very, very early. So you talk about Veve. I'm just curious, do you talk about other crypto as well? Or is it just...
yes and no, not really, not so much. When I talk about basically stuff that I've invested in mainly. So if I'm, or only really, so unless someone comes to me and says, hey, can you shout this out on your channel or something, which I do occasionally for people as well. But a lot of it is to do with Veve, and then I might, like I put in one thing about helium miners because I bought myself some helium miners. So therefore I did a little video on helium miners, so people know about it basically. But yeah, the majority of it is to do with Veve, because at the end of the day, the funny thing about Veve as well is that, well, it's slightly different now, but you don't really have to know everything about crypto in order to do stuff to do with Veve anyway, because it's basically buying little toys, isn't it, really, as my wife says.
Yeah.
So if you know more about the toys, actually you've got a better upper hand than somebody who knows about crypto.
Yeah, and Veve is extremely well positioned to bring the app to the masses. It's one of their greatest assets, I think, in terms of onboarding. Now they have KYC. That's a little bit of a barrier, but they found a way to make crypto, like, we have a blockchain technology, we have OMI, and then we have NFTs that are going to be all backed on a ledger. But they found a way to bring it to the masses by just simply downloading an app. So the scalability of this, I think, is insane, because as people start buying these NFTs, it's like it's what they're familiar with right now. They just jump in. Soon, maybe we'll have OMI to NFT. You jump in the app, maybe you can buy OMI directly there, or you buy the NFTs directly. And you don't have to be a crypto guy. You don't have to worry too much about wallets. You don't have to worry too much about how you're going to exchange from ETH to an OMI and all that. They just made it easy to onboard. I think that's going to help them set them apart in the future. And then what you just mentioned right now kind of triggered me on that. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a great conversation. We're going back and forth, great ideas coming up. Essentially crypto. He also has Twitter. Make sure you follow him on Twitter as well as his YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to him on both, because he has all sorts of fire videos. And I know you interviewed Reese. Sometimes, speaking of the Veve team, essentially crypto brings on the big guns as well. So if you got to hit the bell button there too. Okay. So very quickly, we'll go through the daily news. We had a retweet today. Just thought it was pretty cool. You had one of the golden moments on the Monopoly board. Best Monopoly piece ever. I agree. Imagine playing Monopoly now with these NFTs. Why not?
They say that there was a big speculation that Monopoly was going to be one of the one of the things coming to Veve soon, wasn't there? I don't know if you saw whether that was back in the day or whether you were in at that point.
That must have been before me. That's news to me, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah, they sort of hinted in a way that it was coming. They said about board games, and we were talking about Chaosium. We thought it was Chaosium because we thought those pieces were going to be chess pieces. And in the book itself, if you look in the book, there were certain QR codes that you could essentially go to scan, but the book wasn't fully open. But obviously, I don't know what's happened with that because Chaosium kind of went, a bit down the toilet, didn't they? Not down the toilet completely, but they said that they were kind of, stepping away from it for a bit. So that kind of put a downer on whether it would be chess pieces and whether it would be a full game. But they did say something about Monopoly. I can't really remember what it is, but there's lots of VUV YouTubers who covered it. So maybe you can go back over somebody's history and find out what exactly it was.
I'm not sure. This is first I've heard of it, but it makes a lot of sense. And I did a video recently talking about land and the VVverse and how they're going to bring utility to the land. It's almost like a game like Monopoly would fit really, really well into that environment where, you can play the game with the land. And then if you own certain areas of the land, people pay rent. I just think that the possibilities are endless once we start getting into a metaverse style VVverse. So I don't know, a little bit of a stretch, pure speculation. It just, when you mentioned that, I just connected it directly to a VVverse style game where you actually can own land in the VVverse and have people pay rent as they play the game.
As they go past go.
I don't know who's paying that though. I don't know who's paying the goal. I don't know who's that.
It's going to be the Jow. I wonder who that's. Someone's going to be the Jow, and then there's going to be $200 every time you pass go. It'd be interesting, definitely.
It does say in the white pages that, and I clarified this in AMA with Reese, and he said it will no longer be gems, but they did mention in the VVverse you'll be able to find collectibles, you'll be able to find virtual goods, and you'll be able to find gems, which I thought was crazy because that's money. He did kind of shoot down the gems. He's like, yeah, that probably won't be the case anymore, but they still have plans on the collectibles and the virtual goods. All right, it's pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. And then one thing I wanted to mention, I talked about this yesterday. Joe is actually in Florida. He got caught up in the hurricane, but he went to a small world, and he had to. He bought the poster. And yeah, it caught the eye of David Yu himself. He dropped some hearts down. So again, we always appreciate when the CEO comes by and shows some love. So Joe's having fun there. He'll be back soon. I think he flies back tomorrow. So it's been almost a month. We'll be reunited, but thankfully we have fantastic partners like Essentially Crypto to join us and fill in during that time. Okay, Ultraman. I don't know. Are you still going for drops or are you staying out of them?
To be honest, the reason I went for drops a lot back in the day is because of the fact I was streaming. So therefore, because I was streaming, I was constantly going. I was always missing them though, and I think one of the reasons was because I was streaming, my Wi-Fi was therefore terrible, and I never kind of tweaked to this. And it was only when so I missed all of these drops. I literally missed some of the most important drops because of the fact that I was streaming. So yeah, I kind of go for an occasional one. I went for the Aladdin's lamp the other day, and I somehow managed to get it. So then I got the D, and I got the chance to buy the Mickey. But I didn't bother with the Mickey. I sent my code to Blockchain, who then he used it and got a secret rare.
Oh, of course. How it goes, right? Of course.
So, but I don't think they're allocated specifically anyway, are they? It was still luck. So I probably would have gone to use it. Yeah, and I probably would have got a comment. But it was just quite hilarious because I said, hey, do you want my thing? And he went, yeah, go on then. And I think he'd already redeemed like 7 of them anyway. So therefore he went for it and said, yeah, got a secret rare, thanks. And I was like, you're welcome.
Yeah. That's how it goes. That's like that's everyone always talks about how, I don't know how it is in where you are in England, but here you buy a lottery ticket, you can actually sign your name on the back. But people always say if you buy a lottery ticket as a gift, when you give that gift away, that's the guy that's finally going to win, right? It's always that FOMO.
Oh, totally.
Right? It's that FOMO. I actually once received a gift with it already signed. So just in case they had the insurance, but that is not typically what I would do. If I give the gift, I give the gift, it's gone. That's it. If they win.
Wait, so if you sign the back of it, then it still becomes yours, even
it
though
would be a scratch card.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you win big, right? If you win really, really big, it's one way to prove ownership.
But then what do you get to? Sorry, I know this isn't about Veve, but this just baffles me because see, I do like a trick in our magic show where we have like envelopes, and if someone chooses the right one, they get like £500 or something, and if not, they all get a scratch card. So somebody gets something, but I've never signed the back of it and given it to them. So maybe I should start doing that just in case.
But take a look. I'm not like ours. Obviously, are made by our government. I don't know how yours would be if there is a signature on the back. Take a look. But it is actually completely related to VV because VV, in a sense, is a gambling app, right? We talk about these drops. We're in a period of time now where you're scared to go for them because if it goes under listed, you've essentially lost. Whereas maybe you have that 10, 15% chance of getting the secret rare, getting the ultra rare, and then that's the one that you're going to profit on. So that's why our spreadsheet exists, right? Speaking of ultra, for the longest time, I stopped going for drops, like months and months and months. I didn't go for any drops. Finally, now that the market's cooled off, you're going to lose if you get the lowest one. I've started going for them again, only because I'm willingly losing 30 gems here, 20 gems here, just to have an opportunity to get whatever I can. And if I don't sell it. I just hold it because I do VV every day. If I go for the drop, I have a chance at a good mint. If I don't get it, no need to cry. I hold it in my collection. I move on. Whereas if I buy it in the secondary market, I'm going to get what I get. The example I give is the lightsabers. I went for the drop and I got the number 54, 0054 Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. That would be impossible to purchase in the secondary market. If you don't go for the drop, you don't get the chance. So scratch cards, VV, they're one and the same in many ways. Okay. So, I guess so Ultraman, then you're not going for it. No price predictions. You haven't looked at it.
I've sort of looked at it. I guess I think it's probably a good one to go for because of the fact that I think it's China and Japan are not allowed to buy it.
Right. Well, so I guess they're not allowed to go for the drop, but can't they buy it in the secondary market?
They can buy it in the secondary market, yeah, and that's one of the reasons. Like when I first got in as well, there was like the Chinese locked one. I can't remember what it was now. Adventure Time, that was it. And there was people who were. I was trying to get people in China or wherever to get it for me, but obviously that didn't happen, and they shot up. But like it's kind of repeated itself. Literally, history's repeated itself because when I first got in, all these ones again, you could just buy them at sometimes half price, sometimes a little bit more than they were worth. Right. But then after a while, all of a sudden, everything just rocketed off.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's going to happen again purely because of the fact that now we've got a way to cash out. So it means that as soon as it starts rocketing off, people can then start selling, and then obviously it goes down again, and they can cash out their stuff, and the whole cycle repeats. Whereas before, everything was trickling down, wasn't it? So like I myself, I trickled down. I sold a Superman for I think it was $3,000, something like that. Nice. And then I then bought a load of crap in the app.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad because we talked to Crypto Pro and he actually doesn't buy rails. His strategies, he likes to buy and stack a lot of random items that you wouldn't think are great. And his logic is that on the next NFT pump, the whole market will rise together.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I guess that's the whole thing. In theory, when it pumps on the next one, everything should rise. But the trouble is, will that happen again because of the fact that there's no trickle down effect? Yeah. So because now, if I sold my Superman for $3,000 now, I would cash it out. So because of the fact that then you've got real money and that's the way you take profits. Whereas what I did instead was I sold it and I kept it in the app for a little while. And they announced that cash out was coming, but they've done
hashtag soon. Hashtag soon.
It was always the same. So I was like, you know what? What do? Do I hold gems? Or do I hold, like collectibles that essentially could go up?
Yeah.
So I thought I'm better off holding collectibles. So I bought a few things and this is the first time I've ever bought anything aftermarket for more expensive. Like I bought stuff that was like 1,000 and stuff like that. But whereas normally every drop that I went for was always on the drop only. And that was all I would ever do. So, which essentially I still did in a way, because when I sold Superman, I only paid 50 for it. So therefore, by selling it at 3, I then bought stuff in the app. But yeah, so I don't see it as a loss still. And I'm still up because I've got like the Pride and I've got a few others, which are still up. Right. But they're just not up, at what they were before, obviously. And that's the whole thing in general, isn't it? But I was kind of like in the shower the other day and I was thinking about this whole crypto thing. A bit weird.
Good meditation time. Good meditation time.
It's good meditation time. And I was thinking about the fact that it's more about human psychology than it is about, like basically when people see it start going up again, they start going in for it. And then the people who've been in it a long time then cash out, that makes it go down. And then the people who are then new come in, they see that it's down, they start buying because they think it's going to go back up again. So it really is just it's just a cycle, isn't it? It's new people coming in with the older people who've been in a little bit longer cashing out first and probably leaving when the new people come in. So therefore that cycle repeats itself. So, I guess the same thing will happen in VV as it does with crypto. in general, you know, and in theory, that should mean that everything should start going back up again when everyone starts thinking, oh, hey, this is actually not a bad investment because it's quite low. That'll take it even higher. And then the people who have been sitting on their bags for ages are going to be like, wait, cash out quick, you know.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other people who have to wait. So it's a, you know, a waiting game.
It's very much like many markets, and it's like the transfer of wealth, right? You come in, you're able to buy collectibles for hundreds. The next guys can only buy them for thousands. The next guy can only buy them for tens of thousands. No one really knows where this is going to go. I wanted to mention one thing, though. We did do a video back 3 months ago. I don't know if you remember. There was a sudden increase in grail prices. There was, for example, Todd that went from 2,000 to like 4,000, and then you had Vader that pumped to like 3,000. You had a sudden pump of all these grails, and then many people started bringing money in FOMO. We did a video saying don't get caught in a pump and dump on Veve, because when we tracked the data, we saw that there wasn't new money coming in. There wasn't new money being purchased through the app. So who was creating this? And we speculated that maybe it was whales that coordinated, like a whale attack that coordinated and bought up all these grails, create that FOMO. When the metadata comes out, we'll be able to track wallets and actually see if that's true. You know, see how many Vaders are being bought up by who, and maybe we can figure out something and don't get caught in that pump and dump. But like you mentioned, we're in a bear market, and if you remember crypto back in 2018, or 2018, 2019, we had that crypto winter. I remember 2017. I'd be driving to work on the radio. People would be talking about Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. The guy on the radio was talking about buying Bitcoin. Then it crashed, went through a winter. Then the guy on the radio saying he lost money. So it's the psychology of the markets. And really, you want to do the opposite of what everyone's feeling, right? If everyone's feeling terrible right now, it's probably the best time to buy. It's not always the case. It can go right down to zero. But with that being said, especially this is true, and this has been tested through through all time, stock market, whatever. Usually, you want to be greedy when everyone is fearful. That's obviously a famous quote.
Totally.
So yeah, like I agree with you. And then like in terms of the transfer of wealth, like, bringing in new users, that leads to our next topic, which is this idea of bringing in new users into the app over time. I think the Veve team is going to be a really big deal in terms of how they're going to deliver on everything they promised. And I believe they will. I think they're going to deliver. But between now and the time they deliver, they got to keep people happy, right? Go ahead.
I said soon.
Hashtag soon. I believe they will, okay? They've done it. And they've said they're going to do things. They've got it done. They're still MCP. They're still OUP. They're still burning. They're still Veveverse, which is supposed to be end of the year. I don't know, but
they did an announcement, didn't they? That they're going to bring. They're going to do a preview of that. Did you see that announcement?
I didn't. I missed it. I didn't watch the whole interview. Was that in the AMA?
No. It was in a Twitter space, and it was David Yu jumped into the Twitter space, and they did an announcement that. Now I can't remember whether it's going to be at the Decon or I think it's going to be Decon.
Nice. Yeah,
I can't remember. What blockchain put it in our group, and I can't. Where's my phone? Oh, I've left my phone.
That makes sense. At the Anaheim one, right?
Yeah, it was either Anaheim or which one's it's New York Comic Con or Anaheim, isn't it? That's the two.
New York now.
That's now. Okay, so it's not maybe now. I don't know. I'm not sure when it is, but he jumped into Twitter space and he said that there is going to be a preview and there's going to be an interactive one that people can use or something and try out and stuff. So I wasn't in the Twitter space, but if you look, Gasto, I think his name is I want to say French. I'm not sure. He's got like a little bumblebee as his thing on Twitter. If you look at Gasto, he's put like a little thing up of the actual of David Yu saying it in the Twitter space. So check out that and you'll see that he says about it. So that's exciting stuff.
Let's see that preview. The preview is good to have. It means Reese said that it's kind of like already built and they don't really have it ready. If they're going to show a preview, it's just going to be more kind of like, the carrot in front of your face. Like you're not going to actually probably have it yet, but that's okay. I don't care because I'm here for the long run. Time, when you look month to month, it feels like a long time, but it's not. We're talking about years. Like this bear market might last years. The Veve teams to be extremely important. By the way, I just want to mention something. While we were talking, I did go for the drop, and this is my point, right? I got
I just missed the drop? I completely missed it, didn't I?
Would you go for it? I thought you would.
No. I would go for it anyway.
So the number 235 ultra rare, right? Like this is this is an example. You don't play the game, you don't have a chance. If you obviously you're probably gonna lose money. Today was my lucky day. I got something that I can actually flip. Anyways, So
It just gets expensive because of its. Back in the day, it was a once a week, so it was like, can I get this? Yeah, 60 quid a week. Yeah, I can do that. But now it's like every day, isn't it? Every comic, every day. It's just like it's too much.
it's killer.
Yeah.
So what do you? Let's talk a little bit about the VV team. We both have had Reese on our channels, and hopefully we have more. I don't know if did you ever have David? I think you did. You have the David
No,
Yu
I've only had Reese, and
Reese.
the main reason is because I didn't see the need to speak to any of them. Even Reese, I've been chatting with him back and forth in Twitter and stuff. I organised like a treasure hunt and stuff like that, and I was chatting back and forth, getting prizes and blah blah blah. But the point is that I never seen the need to speak to them because they always had the AMAs, they always had the spaces.
Yeah.
And everyone, I could ask questions there, and everyone could ask their questions, and they always answer everything, like literally, down to the wire anyway. So, I didn't really see the need for it, to be honest.
Now, when you compare the VV team, because you were in before I was, I came in around November, December of 2020 or 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm mixing up the years now, but yeah, it was 2021. So where exactly do you feel they've gone? Like, do you feel that they managed the expectations and they managed, I guess their promises a little bit better in the past than they do now? Do you think they do better now than before? Since you've seen both sides, what do you think?
That's a tricky question. I guess the thing was before it was mainly Reese in Telegram who you would speak to. And if you had a question, you jumped into Telegram and there would be somebody there. I don't really visit Telegram that much anymore. But Reese was always in there. I don't think he goes in Telegram much now. They mainly do the what do you call it? It's the video ones. And they also obviously did the spaces. They've always had the thing of not doing exactly what they said on time, but they always seem to get it done. Is the best way to put it, I suppose. So that's what I like about the team, that they always get it done, and they, and at the end of the day, the thing with crypto is that everyone wants it now, don't they? It moves in hype cycles. So if there's no hype surrounding something, then people go, oh, it's dead, and then they announce Disney, and it's like, well, hey, it's back again. You know what I mean? So it's kind of and when I wonder sometimes if they put things off on purpose, like they would say, oh, we can't release that yet, because if they released everything all in one go, then people would just be like, yay! And then it'd be like a week later, it'll be like, what's next?
Yeah.
No matter what they do. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I think there was a few things back in the day that they said were coming that took a lot longer. And they seem to now, they don't put timelines on anymore, because when they did put timelines, people jumped on them. Yeah. But people still jump on them now anyway. But, I still think they deliver no matter what anyway. It's just whether or not it comes in the time that you want it to, or whether it comes in the time that they have planned. And there's so much more to come and so much bigger stuff that we don't even know about. And that's what's the crazy stuff. It's like the little tip of the iceberg, isn't it, essentially? So,
yeah, like people talk about VV being dead, but it's not. I think OMI is still a top 10 coin. Like, it's still up there in terms of.
I believe so. Yeah. Well, there's not much utility for it, and there was a lot of hype when it first came out. And I was doing videos at the time, obviously, and like my first video was talking about the buybacks, saying why the market cap didn't matter. Unfortunately, now the buybacks have kind of gone they're not existing anymore. However, all they have to do is figure out, it's because of the whole, what's it called, regulations thing, isn't it? But all they have to do is figure out a way to get OMI into the app, like as in get us to buy something with OMI, that then they can use that and then switch out the buyback fund for that, so it's not directly affecting it. And then they've cornered that, and I believe they're working on something, or they have got something that they are bringing out. The similar, I did a video about ages ago, but so I'm in a little group of people who we all talk about different stuff, obviously, and blockchains in there, hello K, and those guys come up with some crazy ideas as well. Obviously, Bot can't say anything; he's under NDA. NDA, is that the one?
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah,
that's
NDA.
The one, yeah.
So he doesn't say anything, but he's very bullish on stuff, and he makes you more excited about it, essentially.
Yeah, like if it's a top 10 coin with limited utility, can you imagine when they bring in all the utility that they've talked about? Because
exactly.
Like OMI to NFT, I think you're referring to OMI. They're going to find a way to make OMI to NFT so the OMI gets burned. That's basically the gist of it?
No. They've got to find a way to get other. Basically, at the moment, they got a buyback fund, so they can't use that buyback fund to directly influence the. What they were going to do was they were going to buy money off the exchange, weren't they, with that buyback fund?
Okay.
So what they got to do is they've got to try and figure out a way to get us to put OMI into it, to then use that OMI to buy back off the exchange rather than using the buyback fund. So that way, I'm not really explaining myself very well. I put a video out about it, and I was like, I put it properly, and now I'm thinking about it, I can't remember how it works. But basically, as long as they don't use that money directly, so they just need another way to get. So, for instance, if everybody bought these Veve logos with OMI, and then they use that OMI to then buy off the exchange, then I think that's okay to do. Or or they put it through and then they use it. They can't do the whole thing they were going to do, is what I'm getting at. But all they have to do is figure out another way to burn it, and then they can bring back buybacks. Well, even though they're not officially like that.
There's a lot of options for them that as more and more time goes on. But I just love that you said about the fact that it doesn't have a lot of utility, yet it's a top 10 token. Yeah, and it's a bear market. And it's a bear market. We can only imagine. We've seen what's happened with Veve in a hype cycle. Now, with that being said, there's that whole gem scandal. Who knows how much of the money was stolen or fake money that came in? But we know. I mean, taking it for what it's worth, we've seen what Veve and OMI does in a hype cycle. I think it was trading at like 0.07 at one point. Like it pumped hard. So,
well, if you got WOMI, it went up to 5 cents. So I feel really sorry for the people that bought WOMI, because that was on what's it called, Uniswap, and everyone was so hyped for that thing, and it literally it pumped like 5 cents. People were buying it at 5 cents, and then it just went, and that was it. And now it's gone nowhere near that. So I don't know whether the people who bought it at 5 cents are still still holding or not.
It's a good question, because and this came up in a previous topic and video. A lot of people this is truly an investment for many people, right? They're putting their financial hopes and dreams in this, and some of them are overextending. They're going into loans. They're doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, but the fact is they've done it. Do you feel that the Veve team has a responsibility, almost like even though they're a private company, do you feel that they have a responsibility to still, ensure, for example, OMI is done in such a way that it's going to benefit the holders? Or do you think they're a private company, they could really just do whatever they want and they don't have to care about their user base or their investors in this case?
Well, essentially, they don't need to do that, but I think they will. And one of the reasons they will anyway is because obviously the community is what runs it. At the end of the day, NFTs community, that's it. If you don't have that community, you don't have, who they're going to sell to for a start. So, and the Veve community is huge now. And obviously, more people coming in, etc., with the IPs they love. If they were to just let go of the token and leave it now, which some projects have done at the end of the day. I never thought it would happen, but some projects that I've been part of or whatever have just gone so down the toilet now, and I don't know if they're ever going to come back up. That you're just like, whereas this is one of the ones that I'm happy to hold during the bear market, because I believe that it's still got stuff to go. I believe that it's got all the different things. Like there's a lot of tokens. Like I bought SafeMoon at one point.
Oh yeah, SafeMoon,
I'm pretty sure that's dead in the water. I took my profits from it. I literally bought it as a joke on the channel. I bought $100 worth of it.
Okay.
And then, or £100 worth, sorry. When it got to 1,000, I cashed it out, and then I gave away some OMI, basically. That's what I did. Nice. I bought some OMI with it and gave away some OMI. But
that's nice.
I still hold some of it, and I know people who still hold it, but obviously that's probably never going back up again.
Yeah.
Because of all the situation and what's happened and everything. Whereas with ecomi, like, I don't think they would have, your Disneys and your Warner Brothers and all that sort of stuff, being part of it, if it was going to be something that was just going to be washed away within, a couple of months or whatever. Yeah. So they've already gone through one bear market in the first place. So this isn't their only, they've been building for years, like way before we even got involved in it at all. So I don't think we have any issue with holding OMI token, because, they're going to implement it in, because at the end of the day, they've got it themselves.
Yeah.
So, the more they make the token wanted and desirable, the better it is for them as well.
Yeah.
And it's not just to cash out quick, because from what I can gather, most of the team has never cashed out anything. Okay, there's one, I think, from way back in the day, who, but and the good thing is that he's cashing out early now, because imagine if it got to like $1 and then he started cashing out, then everyone would go crazy, because not that it's going to, but you know what I mean? It's just like, if he cashes out when it's lower at the moment, then it's kind of better in a way. because it's not on other exchanges, it's not on Binance, it's not on all those ones. So therefore, it doesn't affect the token as much. But when it gets onto the other ones, then it's a bit more exciting. And I think if you saw the team then just flogging millions of them straight away, then you'd be a bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be concerning because they've like, people love to criticize them, but they've accomplished something that no other company's done before. Like they still consider themselves a startup, but they have come a long way. The way that a company that no one's ever heard of got the IPs that they have onboarded just goes to show you the amount of influence that David, you and Dan must have had before they started, right? Just to be able to get them on board.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, well, even just Al Khan, isn't it? Really, that's
right.
That's the key right there. And the stuff that they say about that's coming still, and a lot of people don't really even think about that. But even just the fact of putting the wallets in the like normal stores, like if you can go into Walmart and buy a wallet with the digital collectible inside it, which is what they were talking about doing, and I believe they're still going down that route. In fact, I think Reese mentioned it just the other day on somebody's AMA. It was either the German one or the French one. He reiterated it again, and I think that is going to be huge. I think the thing that he put, I literally did a video just recently, and that the thing that he said about the fact that you can then buy OMI in the app, that is going to be the key. That's a massive thing, because if people can go to the app, buy the OMI, and then buy the stuff they want to buy, even if it's like, stuff for the showroom or whatever, or for your meta house, people are still going to want to put stuff in there. No one wants to flex their meta house or whatever it is with nothing in it whatsoever, do they? So they'll buy stuff to put in it. That OMI, will get burnt. But the point is that in the first place, and he said that they're going to get rewards as well, isn't it, for burning the OMI? So therefore, they not only burn the OMI, but they also get rewarded for it with other stuff or whatever. I don't know how they're going to do it. But again, they were talking about that for a long time, and that sort of is starting to come to fruition as well. So it's crazy how all the stuff they did talk about is now coming up, basically.
Yeah, we did a video on burning and why people are like, why would anyone want to burn? One reason is that just some people like to burn the world, right? They just have fun burning stuff. But there's many more reasons that they're going to be incentivized to burn. And then when that comes, I think we're going to start seeing that being a way, way bigger thing. So I guess to close it out, and when it comes down to it, there's, in terms of the success of any project, it's the community that's going to ultimately help win, right? Like a community-driven utility, let's call it, will ultimately make Veve the best that it can be. But do you have full confidence? People have questioned the team. They criticize them constantly. We see in the YouTube comments all the time. We've criticized them in the past when we've seen things that have issues. But in the end, do you believe that this Veve team has what it takes to make Veve the biggest marketplace? Will it be bigger than Amazon and Walmart, like Reese once said, or I think it was Alcon that once said?
Yeah, I think he said that Veve will be the digital collectibles Walmart or something, isn't it? Where he said, well, I guess yes is the answer to that one. Otherwise, I wouldn't be invested from the start. But the main reason I invested was because of the IPs that they were bringing on in the first place. They didn't have Disney and all that at the time anyway. But I sort of thought, well, maybe they'll get that in the future. And I suppose you could argue, well, IP is nothing in the way because, like, for instance, like Primark, for instance, you can get, like a Disney T-shirt, can't you, or whatever. Yeah. Or there's, a friend of mine, he runs a costume business, and he's got the rights to be able to make like certain costumes, but then he can't do certain other things. So I guess it depends, because at the end of the day, other companies can go out there and get those IP rights, so it doesn't mean a thing really. But that being said, they are sort of, they're here already doing it, whereas other companies who are thinking about doing it, they're sort of either just starting or they're not quite as far along as what Veve are. And even though there's a few things like before there wasn't cash out, obviously now there is, and there's a massive fee for it, and there's all these little things that you could pick on. But if you pick on all those little things and you don't think of what's going to come in the future, then I think you will you fudge yourself in a way, and you start thinking, actually, is this worth it? Whereas if you sort of look at, well, we've got the metaverse coming up, and we've got, I don't like to go into the whole, the metaverse is going to be amazing. You can fly from place to, all that sort of stuff. I don't go into trying to make like ideas of that. But just the fact that they've got the IP with the metaverse, plus all these other things, they're still ahead of a lot of projects in crypto anyway.
I love that you said that, because, and then I was kind of going to, this is why I want to talk about the team, because right now Veve has the advantage with the premium IP that they have in the way that they have it presented, how you can bring in an AR, like they have the advantage, but it will not be like that forever. We know Disney's going to make their own metaverse. We know that there's going to be competitors that will eventually be able, because this license with Disney is not exclusive. We know that Disney can make their own or give it to whoever they want. DC already does it. So for VV to succeed, they ultimately are going to win. Right now, they're winning on IP, but they're going to have to win on execution as well from what other things that they can bring into it, what other incentives that they can bring into it. IP is obviously still important, but how the team is going to deliver on the current promises they have and the things they're going to come up with in the future. Reese did say they were ahead on the collectible side, the digital collectible side of things, and we're also ahead in the metaverse. We don't really know what that means yet, but we're going to find out. So I think you brought up a really good point. IP can only take them so far for them to have the success. And obviously all us VV users who want to see our collectibles, appreciate in value back to the January highs and beyond, we're going to need VV to stand out in more ways than just IP. So I think that's a really good point. Before we close out, do you want to show us a magic trick?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can do something. Okay. Now, obviously, I've done this live before, but we're not live. So have you got a favorite playing card that you can think of?
Like a playing card?
Yeah.
You mean like, for example, the Ace of Spades or sort of
like yeah, but that one everyone chooses that, so don't go with that because that would just seem like yeah. And we didn't.
Seven of Diamonds.
A 7 of Diamonds. Okay, it's another popular one, but we can go with that if you want to. It's up to you. Do you want to go with that, or you want to change your mind?
7 of Diamonds we'll go with.
7 of Diamonds. Okay, because a lot of people they choose the 7 or the Ace of Spades or the Queen of Hearts. That's a popular one. So I've got a little pack of cards just here. Okay, now let me see if I can just take these out of the box, and we're going to try and find your 7 of Diamonds. Let's see. That's the 7 of Hearts, and that's the 7 of Diamonds.
There it is.
Now, let me see if I can maybe put that in my glasses so you can see it. There we go. That's it. Yeah, it's a little bit of a... Okay, so I don't know if you can see the cards. Hopefully you can see the cards from there. We've got... what we got there? The 9 of Spades. You didn't choose that one. What's on the back of that? We've got XRP on the back of that. That's an interesting crypto. 9 of Clubs. Safe Moon. That's the one that I bought and it goes all down the toilet. Yeah, that's good. What we got there? We've got Cake on that one. That's a pancake swap, I believe, isn't it? Cake on that one. What we got on here? Let's have a look. Just so you can see they're all different anyway. We've got Dot on that one, HNT. We've got ETH on that one. We've got Doge. That was one of the first ones I bought. If you chose the 6 of Diamonds, would have had Doge on the back. So instead of the 7, we got XLM, OMG, Safe Mars. That's another one I bought, which was rubbish. Matic, ADA. I got some of that. Sold that. Good. Sand. What else we got? We got Womi, USD. You get the idea. Every single one is different. Elongate there. If you chose the Ace of Spades, there you go. It would have had Elongate on the back, which is why I didn't want to choose the Ace of Spades. Instead, you chose the 7 of Diamonds, which is the only one with Omi.
Wow, look at that. Wow. Wow, look at that. Interesting. Okay. Nice
now you're going to be scratching your head wondering why you chose the 7 of Diamonds.
The magician is never supposed to reveal the trick. We're going to have to talk it when this video ends. Maybe we can have a conversation about it. But all right, well, straight up, again, we appreciate you coming on the channel today. I've been forgetting to do this. We're going to give you the superstar money standing O.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not going to stand because you'll see that I'm wearing jogging bottoms and strange slippers.
No, you don't need to stand. I'm going to stand. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope everybody watching enjoyed the stream. We talked about a lot of stuff today. We went down a rabbit hole here. Went a little bit longer than I am. That's okay. That's okay. We love VV and we talk about everything and talking about everything VV. So I think I had a lot of fun today. I hope you did too. And I hope everybody watching did as well. So if you haven't already, make sure you smash the subscribe button, join the Superstar fam, hit the bell notification button so you know what's coming up. I told you at the beginning of the video, I'm going to tell you again, you want to hit that bell button because you don't know what's going to show up. You don't know when essentially crypto is going to be back. So you hit that bell button. You don't know when maybe Reese is going to be back. I don't know. You don't know when other people, just hit the bell button and you'll be surprised. I hope in time. And also Superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. I hope it helped you today. It helped me today. The spreadsheets helped me today, and I hope it helped you as well. I wish you all the best of luck, the best juju. Thank you all so much, and we will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.